let's lay this sleepy baby down and talk all about food blogging and life as a mom with lots of little ones and doing a food blog as well. I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Thrive Market. They have a special gift for Hopewell Heights subscribers in the description, so you can just tap the more button below the video and see the details on that. I'm just going to take you with me today throughout my day as I prepare a recipe for my blog. And, right now I've got a new baby, so when baby naps, that is usually the time that I'm going to take to do something creative that I want to do. And since my creative venture is a food blog, that happens to serve my family really well because we have to eat. So I cook and we eat it. It works out really well. Now, I have my blog, which is primarily a food blog, and this YouTube channel. So for me, when I'm going to put a recipe on my blog, that also involves filming. And here on YouTube, it's more of like lifestyle content that I will just talk about my day, take you along on my day, and then include the recipes in that. So today, this was a Saturday. My husband was home, and we actually had a family function to go to. So it worked out really well because what I had on my list to make for the blog was something I was just going to bring along with me to the family function. So I always try to just incorporate like the food I'm making into whatever we're doing. I don't make food that just sits there or gets wasted. We always eat it. So I laid the baby down, and before I get started, I still have to go about my day as far as getting my tasks done. So I started some laundry, got myself ready a little bit, and now I have to clean my kitchen. Like I said, it's Saturday, so I think we had ball games the night before, and everything was just kind of a disaster. Now, when I'm filming a YouTube video, I usually stay focused on what I'm doing. So I do get comments like, where are your kids? Well, you see, they're right outside of the frame. Most of the time they're right here around me. A lot of times they're outside. If it's not like raining out, then they're outside playing. But a lot of times they're right here. You just can't see them. So like my daughter's working on some art. The baby is sleeping. You saw me just cuddling the toddler, and then he ran off to play with the big kids. So they are around. I just make the choice not to have them be like the focal point of my YouTube channel because that's just not the content that I create, like talking about my kids. If they're in my videos, it's because they just happen to be in the frame when I'm filming. Now, you do not have to have a YouTube channel to have a blog at all. You can be totally you can have a blog and be totally anonymous and just post your recipes or whatever type of blogging you want to do. Just post your content on your blog and maybe have a picture of yourself on your about page or something, and not put yourself out there to the degree that you do with a YouTube channel. I really like doing YouTube, and to be honest, it's something that I started because I was asked to do it all the time. I've been on Instagram for a really long time and just kind of organically built a following over there talking about a lot of the same stuff I talk about here: homesteading, motherhood, some more like controversial medical stuff. I don't know, all that kind of stuff. And people ask me all the time, start a YouTube channel. Because, I'll do these stories. Well, an Instagram story is only 60 seconds, and people would ask for more details or longer videos. And so I started the channel for that reason. I was being asked to do it all the time. I figured I will give it a go. And I had already had access to a YouTube course. So I just went through the course and did it, and it ties in really nicely with the blog. I actually have come to really like having video content go along with my recipes. So as I'm filming this, you can see that my kitchen is not perfectly clean. And if I were just doing the blog, it wouldn't matter because all that matters for blogging is your photos. And really, you just need one small little space that is set up to take a nice, well-lit photo. So you don't need to worry about what your house looks like or what everything looks like outside of the photo frame. Now, for YouTube, it's a little bit of a different story. It really just depends on what the goal of your channel is. If your channel, if you want to present a very curated video that is just highly aesthetically pleasing, then you're going to want to clean up. And so I'm not the greatest at that. My videos are definitely more vlog style where you're seeing a working kitchen, a working home, and a home that is really lived in. So my kids' water bottles, there you'll often see toys around, and that's just the way it is. If I wanted to clean up this space and um, make it more aesthetically pleasing, I definitely could. It's just not something that I have done. To be quite frank, don't really take the time to do it. If it was a priority, I guess I would just make it happen. I would make it happen, but I don't. I just get my camera out and do more of the vlog style. But a lot of that can even be changed with just your lens. So I just switched to a 50 millimeter lens. You'd been watching it on a standard lens, but even just switching lenses can really like focus in and reduce visual clutter and really just change the whole aesthetic of your video. So I really like the 50 millimeter lens for that, but I just use my regular lens a lot too to just show you guys what real life looks like from me. All right, we're going to continue our chat about food blogging, but I'm going to take a quick break to tell you about the sponsor of this video. I just realized that I missed the cutoff date to place my order for a big monthly grocery co-op that I do, and I do that all the time. It's such a bummer. I've just got so much going on, and I mean to get my order in by the cutoff date, and I do maybe 50% of the time. But with Thrive Market, that is something I just don't have to worry about at all. Thrive Market is an online grocery store where you can get tons of healthy options for everything: groceries, toiletries, just anything that you would get when you would go to the local grocery store. But with Thrive, they ship orders straight to your door anytime. So there's no cutoff date, there's no like monthly minimum that you have to order. You just get on the Thrive app, place an order for groceries, and it comes straight to your door. Plus, orders over $49 ship for free. So unlike a lot of the grocery delivery services where you place an order, it's maybe 50 bucks, and then by the time you go to pay, it's 75 because they added on a tip, they added on a delivery fee, they marked everything up. You do not have to deal with that with Thrive Market. Like I said, any order over $49 ships for free straight to your door, no tips, no hidden fees. It is awesome. Thrive Market offers both monthly and annual subscription options. The monthly option is just $12 a month, so if you want to try it out and see how you like it, you can do that. And the annual option is like $5 a month. It comes out to $59.95 a year, so it's dirt cheap, less than half the price of other grocery delivery services, and they will refund that $60 for the annual membership fee. If at the end of your year you feel like you didn't save any money using Thrive, then you'll get that money back. So you're not really losing anything by giving it a try. And what I love about Thrive is that they have all of the healthy options that I like at the grocery store in one spot. I really don't like having to go to like different stores to find healthy options, and Thrive has done all the heavy lifting. They have banned over 800 ingredients in the foods that they stock, so I don't have to scan labels. I can just put things in my cart on my Thrive app, check out, and I know that my order will be at, I think this last order was at my house in like 2 days. It was crazy fast. Thrive Market donates a membership to a family in need for every paid annual membership, and they make a lot of effort to be environmentally friendly by shipping everything from zero waste warehouses. Plus, they have a huge selection of items for different kinds of diets. So if you're paleo, if you're keto, you can just type that in the app and it will come up with so many different options. So right now, you guys know, in my postpartum season, I tend to struggle with grains, especially with gluten, because with hormonal shifts, everything can just kind of shut down, including your digestion. Things really slow down, and it's harder to process things like grains, even when they're fermented in sourdough, which is such a bummer because you know I love my sourdough. I loved all of my baked goods. But Thrive has a huge selection of gluten-free foods, grain-free foods as well. I showed you some last time that I showed you my Thrive order, but I got a lot of really good things that are all gluten-free from Thrive this time as well. We love baking, so I picked up some gluten-free cookie and cake mixes as well. That way I can still enjoy treats with my family. Thrive Market has a summer essentials sale going on right now with tons of savings. It is going on now through June 8th, so it would be a great time to check it out and to join using my link, because not only will you have access to the summer essentials sale, but when you join Thrive Market using my link, you will get 30% off your first order and a free gift worth up to $60. So just go to thrivemarket.com/Hopewell Heights. I will put my link and more details in the description below this video. So just tap the more button. It's right below the video. It says more. Tap that more button and you'll see all the details for Thrive Market, for the summer essentials sale that they have going on right now, and my link to get that 30% off your first order and your free gift worth up to $60. So I have had my blog for over 5 years. I've had it for a really long time. I started it when we moved out to the farm in 2017. I just wanted to document the process. And at that time, I think like a lot of people, I thought blogging was more just kind of like an online journal. And so I had a few blog posts that I would put up here and there, but I really didn't have any strategy to it. I didn't really know what I was doing. And I would go really, really long periods of time without even thinking about it or looking at it. It wasn't until pretty recently, gosh, maybe 2 years ago. No, 2 years ago is when I started the YouTube channel. But the blog, oh my gosh, it was just like last December. I'm talking like 6 months ago that I really got back into blogging and did it with strategy. And I did it because I was doing the YouTube channel showing you guys all of the recipes that I was making. And even though I would put the recipe in the description of the YouTube video, I got asked all the time, like, to put it on my blog so that it was written out with a step-by-step and had a lot of detail and everything. So really everything that you see me doing here online came by request. It all started by me just, mostly sharing things on Instagram, whether it be a recipe or whatever I was sharing. And then I was asked to just expand on that. And that is how I got to be doing all of these things. It didn't really come out of a desire for financial freedom or anything like that. Living a debt-free life is something that is important to me, but that's actually something that we were just working on separately from my creative stuff. So, I've always done a little bit of this or that online with the blog or with whatever. And sometimes I would make a little profit from having like an affiliate link, or I did a couple MLMs. That's not something that I would do moving forward, but I would have a little profit here or there. But yeah, our debt-free journey, that was something that was accomplished when I was doing my nursing job, and that's just the route that we chose to go with that. So yeah, my motivation for doing the blog and doing the YouTube channel, it really came by request. I was asked to do these things, and then I just figured, if I'm going to do it, if I'm going to put my hand to this, I might as well be smart about it and be strategic and really just make it worth my time. And I think that if you have children and you have a family, you do need to kind of make decisions with your creative ventures and your hobbies. If it's something that you're going to be doing consistently and it's something that you could turn a profit on, then that is a good way to use your time. And so I have really come to enjoy that side of it as well. And I've learned that it can be quite profitable. The recipe that I'm making today is a twice-baked potato casserole. Well, we're calling it a casserole, but you'll see as we go. Anyway, the potatoes are in the oven, so I have like 45 minutes now. And, when I'm working on the blog, working on a recipe or whatever, I don't just sit around and wait. I'm working that whole time. I'm just living my life. So this is something that it was a decision that I made consciously when I decided I wanted to try to do this, the YouTube channel and the blog, that I wanted it to interfere with my normal day-to-day flow, like workflow as a mom and a wife, as little as possible. And so food blogging just works perfectly because, like I said, we have to eat. I'm doing this stuff anyway. And as I am working, which is the normal work I would be doing anyway, of preparing food, I'm doing other tasks in between. So I'm cleaning, I'm taking care of the baby, I'm doing laundry, just doing all the normal things. It's not, so maybe someone imagines like, having a food blog and you think of like 3-hour time blocks that you have to set aside just to do a recipe. Well, that's not it for me. The active hands-on time of shooting photos for whatever given recipe that I'm doing is maybe 5-10 minutes, if that. The rest of the time is just preparing the food, which, like I said, I would be doing that anyway. And then the rest of the time, I'm not sitting around trying to look perfect like I'm in a magazine. I'm working around my home, doing things I would be doing. So it's just such a good fit for moms. I think personally, I think food blogging is a really good fit for stay-at-home moms. And, as you see my family, my kids are all around. I don't tell them they can't come in my space when I'm working on a recipe. That's just not how I personally have chosen to operate. Like I said, this is their home too. So we just don't do that where we have like, oh, mom's in the kitchen doing something for the blog, so now nobody can interrupt her. No, you can always come in. You're not interrupting me. You live here. You can always come in and talk to me. And if I need to edit something out of the video because I'm giving you a hug or talking to you, then I'll just edit it out of the video. If something needs to wait, then it can wait, because like I said, that's just, you get to decide how you want to do this. If you do anything with digital, like media creation, your whole life does not have to be broadcasted. You get to decide exactly what parts you want to show, what parts you want to edit out, and nobody can make you feel bad for making those decisions. They can try, but that's ridiculous. Yeah, we're just, but the internet's still kind of such a novel thing. If you think about it, guys, it's only been around, what, 30 years? I don't know, maybe more. I'm 34. So I don't know. It hasn't been around that long, but social media and, like content creation, the way that we know it right now, definitely hasn't been around that long. So people try to act like they can tell you what you have to show, what you can't show, and that's just, I don't know. They think they're the internet police or something. But all this to say, if you are interested in blogging or YouTubing or something, you really do get to make it be whatever you want it to be. And you get to establish your own personal boundaries around that. By the way, I know that my baby in this back wrap, he's kind of slouching. I tried a new wrap and it didn't go like I wanted it to go. It was really not as secure as I wanted it to be, but I could feel him and hear him breathing, and he's fine. So if you guys want to comment and say my back wrap was not ideal, I will like it and agree. It was not ideal. But like I said, it was a new one that I hadn't done. I forget the name of it even. And I didn't nail it on the first try. It's going to take me some tries to get this one down, but he was good enough. And back wearing is my favorite. I prefer it over wearing baby on my front. All right, so I'm just continuing on preparing my potatoes here. Like I said, I'm making these for a big family function. Like, they're not only for the blog, I'm going to take them to a big family function we're going to. So the smaller cast iron skillet is a standard cast iron skillet, and that's the one I'm going to photograph because, that's like the size of one recipe. I made this larger skillet full of potatoes because I need them for today. But yeah, this little one over here with the 8 potatoes, that's what I'll photograph for the recipe. Now, all of my recipes are, like, I never make something and then, like, the first time I make it, I photograph it and put it on the blog. It's stuff that's tried and true to me. Or if it is something new that I'm making, then I will make it a few times before I put it on the blog. I think there've been a couple times where I tested stuff out and filmed it like the same day that I very first made it, but I'm always honest about that, and I tell you guys about that. So, yeah, just preparing my potatoes for photographing. So this is a twice baked potato quote unquote casserole. It's not really a casserole because it's, you don't have to mix stuff up in a bowl, and it's really easy. It's all in one skillet. So all I did was bake the potatoes, pulled them out, smashed them up with a fork, added salt and pepper. Now I'm going to add a ton of butter on top, add some cheese, add some chives, put them back in the oven. It will all melt together really nicely, and then I'll take pictures, and that is all there is to it. As far as photographing food, you just make the food and take pictures. When you have a food blog, you don't have to take step-by-step pictures. You can just take pictures of the final product. That's fine. And for me, it's really Just depends on what I have time. If I have time to do step-by-step photos and include those in the blog post, I absolutely will. And I try to do that every time. Sometimes that's not how it's working out for me because maybe the kids are all running around needing me and all I have time for is to take photos of the final product and post that on the blog. And then that's okay too. I just don't stress about it. But then again, that does kind of go back to the fact that my initial goal with the blog was not to save my family from some financial situation or anything. It was just something I get to do for fun. And like I said, it is profitable. In fact, if my husband wanted to quit his job right now, he totally could. The blog has become even more profitable than his day job he does when he works off the farm. So he does have like an off the farm job, but he works for my dad. So it's a really good job that we really like. And it's not something we're trying to escape from or anything. And so anyway, but just back to that, me being a wife and a mom, I like not having the pressure of having to do this a certain way. I get to do this any way that I want. And so I've done the research and I've learned enough to know what it would look like to have like a very top tier blog that is just on the money with everything and really the best in its category. I know what that would take and I know what that would look like, but I don't always do that. And I don't pressure myself to do that because like I said, I have set my personal boundaries around how much time I'm willing to put into this and I stick to it. I do what that time allows for, and when the time runs out, then that's it. And I just don't even think about it. So I think that's really important in my opinion. You know, working like from home or doing a business from home, it can be a blessing or it can be a curse. And I don't want my business here to be a curse on my family. I want it to bless my family. So that's just something that's really important to me. And it really, that's a lesson that I have learned throughout the years in other creative ventures that I've done. Like I've said, I've done some MLMs. I did Juice Plus and Young Living. And that's not something I would ever do in the future as far as MLMs, because I did have some success with those. I got to like the mid-level leadership positions to where you're earning a decent amount of money. And I just kind of, once you get to those positions, you learn things about how the company operates. And I don't like how MLMs operate. I just don't like the model. And it's not something that I'll do again. But I just learned a lot in those other, different things that I've done. I've done a private practice lactation consulting business. Gosh, if I sat here and thought, I could probably think of like a half dozen different little businesses that I've done. And they were always just kind of like little hobby side gig things. I would always manage to definitely make enough profit to where they paid for themselves. And I think I always ended up coming out ahead on those. But there were definitely times where I overextended myself and those businesses actually became a curse on my family. Even though they were technically stay-at-home businesses and I had my husband's blessing to do them, eventually they caused problems. And we're like, wait, no, this is not right for us. Yeah, no, this just isn't happening. So I had a lot of, I guess you could call them failures. I don't really consider them failures. I just consider them like attempts at finding something that I liked that was creative and profitable. Had a lot of past attempts before I went into really taking YouTube and food blogging seriously this time, enough to know that I personally wanted this to be heavily guarded and boundaried to where, like I said, it's just a blessing and a creative expression that doesn't become a curse for my family, and that has worked out so well for us. I can truly say this is something that we totally just it's nothing but positive. It's something I enjoy. It's something that the kids kind of understand how it works, but it's really not even a part of our daily conversation. And for me as a mom, I like that. All right, so we're getting to the end part to where I've prepared this simple recipe that I'm going to photograph for my blog. I pulled it out of the oven, and it's really cheesy on top, and that would have been fine for me, but you couldn't actually see the potatoes. So you do have to make things somewhat aesthetically pleasing when you're blogging. So what I did was I just kind of used my fork and mashed the cheese into the potatoes a little bit more, and then put it back in the oven on broil to get a little bit of a more crisp, that's not the right word, look for the photos, but it ended up turning out really well. So once I snap this final photo, and I took some photos along the way, actually at the end of this video, I will just show you all the photos I took as I was doing the video here, and the photos that I'll include in the blog post. So I'm just getting ready to take the final photos here, and that will be that. I'll wrap everything up, and we need to get going on our day. And so as you see, hopefully you see, this didn't really change our day that much. It was just something that I was doing anyway, that I just kind of drug the camera around behind me, making the video, taking the photos, something that I get to enjoy. And then the actual work part will come later when I take my memory card out of my camera, upload the video and photos to my phone, to my computer, and then start the editing process and get them all distributed where they need to go, because I do have a small team of people that help me with, the blog, email list, Instagram, YouTube, and all that stuff, so that everything will get sent to where it needs to go so that it can be worked on and the final product can be put together, and then it's there for you all. All right, so that wraps up my day of shooting this simple recipe, and I edited the photos, so what you're seeing here is the final product, and you can't see any of my messy kitchen or anything besides just the subject, just the photos, which, like I said, that's not too tough to do. So then all I have to do is edit the video, upload the photos to my blog, format the recipe, and then I do, make sure it gets sent out on Pinterest, on Instagram. I have help with all of that stuff just to make sure that all of it gets seen, and that is that. I will put links for the blogging and YouTubing courses that I took before I got started on this venture in the description of this video, along with a recipe for this twice baked potato casserole. And don't forget to check out the special offer that Thrive Market has for Hopewell Heights subscribers as well. Well, thank you guys for watching this week, and I will see you all next week.